Hey everybody, it's Disintegrator and welcome back. This is going to be an interesting video in that we're going to share a whole bunch of really useful tips in terms of part numbers. That's right, so I'm just going to bring you guys in on the state of the art for what I refer to as the disintegration process of Juno-106 synthesizers. And if you want to do it yourself, well, the secret is to have the right tools, the know-how, but more importantly, you're going to need the right parts. So sourcing parts can be an expensive and disappointing process, and it can also be quite time consuming. So here we have a video that's going to actually try and cut to the chase for you, and I'm going to share with you the part numbers I have. So let's start off with this module board. Let's take a look at that guy. Now, I've pulled the voice chips. Now, one of the things I always found with pulling and stripping voice chips is if you solder them back in, having stripped them, if they don't work, you've got to desolder them again, and if they fail maybe a week down the road because they were goners or something like that, well, you got a problem. You have to desolder them again. And as my previous video on soldering shows, you got to have the right tools and correct technique, and it does stress the board out applying that much heat to the bottom of the pins. So my solution is to socket them. Now, originally I was using some relatively affordable, tin single inline headers and pins, header pins, and when I shared some of this with our friend Murray over at QB Technics, he expressed some concerns. He figured that those, well, he knows from hard experience that those tin single inline headers are not really that reliable over a long period of time, and he didn't like the idea of the voice chip relying on that connection for the rest of its life. And I had to agree with him on that, and I tried a few alternatives, but unfortunately some of the alternatives didn't work out until I finally got the solution now. So that's giving you the backstory. So if you've followed some previous videos, you've seen here that what I do with these voice chips after I've stripped them, part of my disintegration process, is to actually solder mount the inline header onto it. And this is kind of cool because it makes them compatible and interchangeable with Analog Renaissance replacement chips, which also use a similar kind of pin mount. So what do we need here to do this right? I'll show you. Here are single inline headers ordered from DigiKey. And here's what they look like up close. And the beautiful thing about them is they are nickel with a gold plating. So the gold plating will keep them nice and conductive for a very, very long time. They are 12 pin, and that is 0.1 inch pitch. 0.1 inch pitch is necessary. That you get a different pitch, then you're going to be sending an order back. And hopefully you can get a refund. So don't do that. 0.1 pitch. But rather than give you the spec and whatnot and have you go through the nightmare, I'm just going to give you the part number that I know works. And here it is. And this is part number, the DigiKey part number, 6093553ND, and the manufacturer part number is 7591532LF, or 312LF. And it is a connector receptacle 12 position, and that of course is the 0.1 pitch right there, and it's PC mount and solder. And so there you have it. That is this part. And yeah, they're a little expensive, I think they're $1 or something each. Let me see, where's my receipt? I'll tell you in a second here. Just having a look at this receipt here, and connector receptacle. I ordered 62 of them. They were $1.37 each. That's US, $1.37 each. So you need 6 of them, of course, to make a Juno-106. So that's that. Now, what about what goes on the chip? Again, this is basically a cheapo one that I soldered on there, and I'm going to be taking it off and replacing it. I know, I don't like soldering on the chip. It runs the risk of lifting a pad. But here we have actual gold over nickel. And again, these guys cost all of, how much? 33 cents each. So they're not that bad. And these are the connector headers right here. And this is the, again, connector header, 12 position, 0.1 pitch, and it's got the 30 AU there. So that's the gold plating. And this is the part number here, 609 3275ND, that's the DigiKey part number, and the manufacturer part number is 68001-112HLF. These were in-stock parts, and they're relatively affordable, and they fit the bill. So if you want to disintegrate one of these boards and actually get it so that it has nice socket mounts that are reliable and socket-mounted chips so that you can be interchangeable, then these are the parts that you need. And we'll be doing a little video as I mount these, but basically really what you got to do is you've got to pull the tooth of each one of them, and same thing over here, you have to pull the tooth out of that guy using a pair of pliers, not too hard to do, and then you mount them. And I've done various things along the way to attempt to key these, and of course the best solution would be to actually buy a keying plug that fits right into that, and then you just hammer this little white peg in there and guaranteed not to get it wrong. Well, I looked for keying plugs, and this was the closest thing I could find, because they're not super specific when you see the online thing. And unfortunately, I'm not going to give you the part numbers because these are wrong. Okay, so these are wrong. If you see these on the online catalog, it's for a sort of a proprietary ribbon connector pin, and I thought maybe they'd do the trick. They seemed to have the correct dimensions, but they're actually too small. They just fall right out. But what you're looking for is a connector socket keying plug. And I'm going to put out an open challenge. Syntegrator wants to know. Syntegrator wants to know if you can find the right keying plug part number for this. Please post to the comments. Let us know. All right, great. So we're going to move on now. So much for syntegrating a voice board. With Juno-106s, one of the other things that we constantly do is syntegrate our good friend the battery. And while I have had great success cannibalizing battery clips off of dead PC boards, because God knows everyone who's even vaguely technology oriented has one or two dead PCs lying around from like the early Athlon era or something like that, or even further. You can always get this circuit board off if you have a solder sucking machine or even a vacuum solder pult. You can get this off and save yourself the cost. But looky here, I ordered in a set of these. And I ordered these ones in from Mouser, or Mouser, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And here is the Mouser part number for these, and the manufacturer part number. So that's just basically a coin cell, which is certifiable with the, what do they call them? The CR coin cells. The CR 2032, that's it, CR 2032. Didn't want to get that wrong. It's a bunch of hassle to put a little talk bubble saying I was wrong, so I just generally want to make sure I'm saying it right in the first place. So yeah, this is a CR32 compatible coin cell, and the part number is 571-1205911, that's Mouser, and the manufacturer part number is 120591-1, and I got these because they have the nice tight little footprint that will not cause problems. I don't know if you remember in that video, if you watched the video previous where I used one of these guys, and it was, let's see, it's still causing trouble. It looks great, but it's just too big, and it actually caused problems because it blocked this screw here from coming down. So one of these guys will totally do the trick, and now you have the part number for that. Okay, so that takes care of that. So are we done? No, we are not done, because Juno-106s have one more interesting quirk to them that you might want to fix. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I have a D50, and I had it since the D50 was brand new. My loyal machine that I used out on the road. And it had one of these. I also had a Juno-106 out on the road. It had one of these, obviously. They all do. Except for the Japanese ones, which have a lamp cable coming out of the back, actually wired in. But either way, this poses a problem, because if you lose this cable or it gets wrecked, they're not so easy to find a replacement to. And if you're buying a Juno used on eBay, you might, like me, occasionally get what's essentially an extension cable with things sawed off with a Dremel tool, and the thing looks like something out of Freddy Krueger's basement. And that's not what you want. I know, up on stage or in your studio, ugly and maybe even not safe. So one of the things that we do around here when we get these in, especially if they're broken or have the other cable, is we actually put in a proper replacement IEC plug. And now any old computer power cable or generic audio gear power plug can now work with your Juno-106. And I've done a video where I cannibalized one of these off of the back of, a dead PC power supply. But why not order some fresh ones in? And again, here we are. This is a DigiKey order. And here are the part numbers. There you go. Part number Q334-ND, or manufacturer part number 703W-00/06. And here they are. Made in China. They're affordable. And oh yeah, customer reference. That's I typed that in. Roland IEC mod power. Bought that online. So, my friends, these are the part numbers for fixing up a Juno and being really happy about it. So, hope you all enjoy it, and we'll just continue on. So, Syntegrator, signing off.